Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a fantastic Easter. Thanks for joining me over the last couple of videos where I was doing a few videos while I was on holidays over on North Stradbroke. We're back in the home office. Bitcoin, NFTs, Ethereum, layer 2s for Ethereum are the topics of today's video. So I've got my NFT Bitcoin t-shirt on. Let's dive into it. But first, if you haven't already, make sure you are here before the scammers by hitting the subscribe button down below, bell notification icon, so you can see the notifications pop up on your phones before the scammers get here. It's such a fantastic place to talk to you in the comment section when the scammers aren't here. Like the video up if you find some value from it. Very easy, free way to help the channel grow. We're nearly at 110,000 subscribers. All right, we're looking at BTC dominance. Now, we looked at this in the other videos. What I want to look at here is our targets, our targets. 53% is where we are currently sitting, and we're just finding a little bit of support at the moment for obvious reasons. You can see some old support back here in September 2020. I think we will continue to break down from this point. Once we broke down through this descending triangle structure, generally the market is going to keep going from this point. Now, I'm not saying it's going to drop straight through here. We may get a little bit of a kickback, retest some of these old lows. So that is sitting at around, 58.8%, maybe 59%. But overall, I think we are into the fall of Bitcoin dominance. Basically, we have had a long period here of money flowing through Bitcoin into other projects. And now we are on that roll. We're on that flow into lower levels of Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin price chart. Now, I still have the candles up here. Normally, I use bars because we don't need to see the up-down colors. It's not important to us unless you are using a trading plan that helps you with those colors. Otherwise, keep it simple. Remove the noise and just keep it nice and clean. So this is the double top that we're looking at here. So the last 3 days, we have seen a double top form at the lower swing top. So if that's all complete jargon to you, you can join us on the Investor Accelerator to learn more about swing trading. We're still giving away 3 entries. Basically, you can win one of 3 free spots to the 12-month membership. I'm going to get that out eventually. All you have to do is drop your email address down below. There is a link down there, the 100,000 subscriber giveaway. It is being drawn in 2 days. So you still have a chance to get in on that, win yourself a 12-month membership. All right, so what I'm looking at here is the double top. And should we play out on this double top, my target is sitting around $45,000. I know it's crazy. Bitcoin shouldn't be that far. There's support at 54,000. There's support at 50,000. This is just a target that I'm looking at because we have other major price clusters on Bitcoin at 45,000. We have a 150% of the double top. We have a 50% fib from the major low to the major top. We have a major low that sits out around 45,000. So there's a lot of price clusters at that 45,000 level. This would just be a short-term thing, okay? I'm not looking at this as a long-term bear market. It's just a short-term thing to clear out some of the weak hands and push on again. So far, we're continuing to play out to that. The volume has dropped a little, probably because over the Easter period, there's just not as much trading activity, but we're going to continue following this. Now, the lower point that I see here is potentially around that 55,000 that we just test before breaking these highs again. But even here is looking like a reasonable setup if we can get some volume back into the market to push it above 60,000. So that is the current look at the bearish targets, and potentially if this bearish signal fails, then we can push above. I think you may start seeing, well, probably not, but some people might consider it a head and shoulders. I don't see this as a head and shoulders at all. Let me draw it for you here. Here's a shoulder, a head, and another small shoulder. But the problem with this is these troughs are just way too out of whack for it to be a real head and shoulders. So I wouldn't be concerned about a head and shoulders at all at this stage. Basically just a wind up, and I see it similar to what we saw in 2017. Now I'm spending a lot of time on this before we move on, and I'll breeze through a couple of the other cryptos that we're looking at today because this is what is going to affect the market. So if we take a look back here, which we covered in the Bitcoin video. I'll leave that link at the end of this video, so stick around until the end so you can re-watch how I got to all of these breaking points and support levels, 50%. It's a fantastic video. I'll leave it at the end of this. You just have to click on it and then go with it. This is what I think may be happening now. See how we had a top and then we came through and broke to a new higher top, exactly what we've just seen. And so in the last 3 days, we've seen this lower top come into line with the lower swing top just here. So it's a very similar pattern to this. And what happened is the market played out over a few days. We had this dump on very high volume, and then the market went sideways again, continued to consolidate, or in this case, distribute, because we know it's a distribution in this area because the market dumped. And then this was the massive accumulation. Everyone bought, well, the smart money bought up on this dip here, huge volume, and then we pushed back above these levels very, very quickly. So if this happens to play out again, could be another couple of weeks before we see the market retest those highs. This doesn't have to happen. It's just something that I'm following and watching just in case. Because if it does happen, then this is really going to scare the market out. I remember being in this period and I thought the bull market was over. I really thought this was it. We just saw it move down, break these lows, huge move down, basically came into line with this other low, but then quickly, swiftly bounced away. And that was the recovery, very fast recovery, so there wasn't much time to buy this dip. So just be aware of that. You can see this start to play out now. Essentially, it looks like this. Check that out, right? That could be similar to where we are, the 62,000, the 60,000, 50-ish thousand, there's your 54,000 level, something like that, right? So if I scoot back across, have a look at that. See, you squint a little bit, it looks similar to that sort of pattern. So that's why I'm continuing to track that and just feel comfortable in case that market does dip down and really, really push down hard into those low 40 areas to scare out the market. That's where I'll be thinking this is some really good cheap Bitcoin I need to buy up. All right, that's Bitcoin at this stage. Now we want to have a look at, we've looked at BTC, D, BTC, ETH, BTC, XRP. Let's just cover a couple of the majors and then move on to some of these smaller alts and NFTs, because the NFTs look like they are dipping. I've got a little bit of news to run through as well. ETH, BTC, we have seen the move out of these lows. Thank goodness for that. 50% support has held. Now I've extended this fib to the major low. So this is the major low we saw in September 2019. And so we've come off a major, call it a macro pattern. So 50%, nice bounce. We've gone above the highs here in March, and it looks like we've just started to accumulate, consolidate above those highs. Good sign. Ethereum is a major play for me. You know that. You guys have been watching for ages. You know that I have a ton of this stacked. Well, call it a ton, whatever you want. It's about $100-something thousand of Ethereum in my super fund. The other 100 or so thousand, probably 140, is Bitcoin. So the super fund, if you want to check that out, link to Instagram is down below. Go and join me over there for almost daily Q&As. Just being upfront and honest with you. It's Q&As. It's all for free. It's whenever I can get some time to answer your questions. Ethereum. US dollar, 1 day chart, we are reaccumulating. That's what it looks like at the moment, above these old all-time highs. Now this pattern is similar to what we see on DOT and BNB. Let me get to DOT first. DOT USD, see that broken to new highs. We're finding some support on the old high. This is a very similar or very solid pattern that we look for when we're looking for breakout trades. Break above, reaccumulate, take off again. We're not there yet, but so far it is setting up for that position. And like I got here as a note, the Investor Accelerator, that's exactly what we looked at and what I talk about in the course, for the membership course, for entering Ethereum, Bitcoin, all those sorts of cryptos back in the bear markets of 2020. That's how we could see it through these levels. These are the accumulations, a breakout, reaccumulation, breakout, reaccumulation, breakout. It's just this continuing pattern. And that's how I feel very comfortable with loading up more on these cryptocurrencies. DOT USDT, you can see that sort of happening again. There's far less data here, but this is an accumulation, breakout, accumulate again, breakout, accumulate again. And we had a bigger pattern here, and we've just decided to break out from that point on higher volume. BNB, you know, we've been covering that as well. We are getting there. We've broken out, higher volume. We're sitting just above these levels here. I would have rather have seen it go above 350 and reaccumulate, but this is still reasonably good too because we're sitting above this old high level set back in early March, mid to early March. So this is another similar pattern. You can see it playing out time and time again. The crypto that it's not doing that on is Cardano, because Cardano had its run earlier. Now we're seeing the rest of these cryptos go. See, so Cardano is just sitting in a wedge pattern. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cardano break down, clear out these lows, maybe even get low to something crazy like 80 or 90 cents, and then start to make its move again. I'm not bearish long term just yet on Cardano, okay? Chill out. The guys who, you know, sort of get triggered. But it's just better entry points. 50% is sitting around 78 cents. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get there. 61% is at 96 cents. So if we get this little bit of a clearing out, that's good. The reason why I think we may get that is because we have this high volume on these 3 bars going up. And this was the Coinbase announcement, which couldn't break the highs. That was the biggest thing that everyone was waiting for on Cardano. That, and of course the hard fork. But then we saw another pump here, and this was on some other news that was coming through for Cardano. Nothing has happened since then, and the volume has just died out. We have to wait and see. But those two things would lean me to the, if I had a gun to my head, this would be the bearish thing. I would say, look, I have to go bearish because of these few factors. Not saying that it will, but just slightly for the short term. That's what we've got on the list. XRP, crazy. Link, accumulation. Let's look at Link, then get to XRP. All right, so Link is sitting, it's getting a little bit of a wind up, and we've covered it in the last couple of days. So just a quick refresh, push up some volume, more volume, and now we're starting to get this accumulation level outside of our wedge. Ideally, we want to be above the $31 level, but for now, we're just continuing to make higher lows. So it's still good going for Link. Now to XRP at 60, call it 69 cents. We just saw it break above these highs. That's what we talked about yesterday. If it could get above that 66, 67 cent level, it's looking good. So today we just saw that. It's only been a few hours old. Needs that close above these levels, and then it's a solid trade against its USD value. The thing to note with XRP, follow the Bitcoin chart. This was the wind up, talked about it yesterday. It broke the highs. This is the setup trade. So that is what you should be trading against. Of course, not financial advice. Let me rephrase that and say this is what I always trade against, is the Bitcoin value, because I'm more interested in gaining the Bitcoin or increasing the Bitcoin in my portfolio as opposed to the fiat currency. Because if it's going down against Bitcoin, if the crypto is going down against Bitcoin, I'm better off just holding Bitcoin to reduce my risk, because these cryptocurrencies are a hell of a lot riskier than just holding Bitcoin. So we want to trade to be able to get some more Bitcoin or Ethereum, if Ethereum is your go-to gold play. And now you can see XRP is also looking like it could break out of these tops of Ethereum. I dare say it will happen, and that means XRP will be increasing in value faster than Ethereum. So that's the play there. It is around a 35,000 GWei reading against Ethereum, so just check that out there and then follow those charts. If you are trading XRP, it's a good trade. You don't have to like it or love it or marry it. It just looks like it could be a very good trade and come up to these levels just here. You know, maybe we get a little bit of a doubling into this area just before the breakdown. So that's not a bad play there. Next on our list are the layer 2s. We've covered this heaps of times before. Let's look at ZIL. And ZIL on Tether broke out of our highs. So just covering that because we've looked at it day by day, and this is a pretty solid play. We were looking at it in accumulating through this area back in mid-March between the 17 and 18 cents, and we're just starting to get that breakout now. Sure, there were plenty other cryptos that were good, but you just don't know at the time, and you take the trades which look like they are setting up. So this is Zilliqa and Bitcoin, again broken out of our resistance zone, long-term resistance, and if we zoom this right out, this play could be quite phenomenal. We could be getting something through these levels at about 600, might be 600 or 6,000 Satoshis, and then up again into that 1,000 Satoshi level. So from this point, maybe we're going to look at a double, maybe a triple of our Bitcoin value. So that's the good looking trade on Zilliqa at the moment. And now Zilliqa is pushing to new all-time highs if we have the chart with the most data, but I won't hold you up with that because this is looking very good. Anyway, that's Zilliqa BUSD. So the other layer 2s that I had on the list were OMG. Now, OMG looks like it's a similar sort of setup. There we go, picking our target. You can see here we've got the tops that it's about to break through, potentially, and it just has done that on a small time frame here on our daily chart, broken our February top, and we're just waiting for it to close above because it hasn't confirmed yet. It did break, but we want to get a confirmation and that close above. OMG was looking good as a buy through this sort of $5 level. Now we're sitting at around 8. OMG against Bitcoin, the one that really matters. This is amazing. Getting that breakout, 1,400 Satoshis. What we've seen in the past, it shoot to 8,000 Satoshis. So 1,400, doubling gets us to 3,000, tripling 4,500, quadrupling 6,000, and we're still below the previous top that it set back in August when the DeFi space and the Ethereum layer 2 stuff went crazy. And then the previous highs are well and truly up here at around 20,000 or 200,000 Satoshis back here. So I'm not saying we're going to get to these heights, but there is a lot of room for it to move before it hits some major resistance. So just keep an eye on these tops here earlier on and just see if we get some resistance before a little bit of a reversal. But OMG also looking really sweet. RDN, Raiden, haven't talked about this so much on the channel, just brought it up once recently. This is a layer 2 solution sitting at a $58 million market cap, so very low, and they aim to be, it's Ethereum's version of Bitcoin's Lightning Network to make, well, basically scale the off-chain, enable quick, cheap payments. And this is basically straight off CoinMarketCap. Now for Raiden, fast, cheap, scalable token transfers for Ethereum, that's all the information I'm going to provide on the project here because the chart is mainly what I'm concerned about. This looking like a great setup. Raiden, BTC, same deal. Just wedged the hell out of it down here as we get this break and then a further break above around that 5,000 Satoshi level. That is going to be gold for Raiden Network. So hopefully we see a bit of a double, maybe even a tripling of the Bitcoin value. So keep that in mind. And that's not too far to go, especially with Ethereum layer 2s. And that it's such a small cap, 60 million, 120, 200 million's not too far to go and seems like a pretty easy target. Not financial advice, but obviously we want to get the smaller cap stuff to then push and make the push a lot easier. Ren, so we've covered the layer 2s. Additional stuff, I don't have Ren on here. So we've looked at Ethereum alternatives. Next up, the dot pattern on ADA. Dot has broken out the reaccumulation, which we just looked at. I'll touch on the NFTs in a second, but Ren is one I wanted to bring up because we shouldn't look past it. Looking at Ecomi as well, but let's just stick with Ren today because it might be in a space for an accumulation. Okay, this is it here. Top and a low's been put in. This could be an accumulation zone. I'm wary in case we break down through these. I don't think we will. I don't think we'll break down through the 75 cents because we've got a top in here, a bottom put in at 75 cents as well. And so I'm hopeful that we get an accumulation at around the 80 cents to $1.20. But I've got to be aware that it could break down and then just begin to plateau out. So there's a lot of coins that are pumping. You guys are commenting on BTT. You're commenting on One. Harmony One, there's a lot of these tokens where you're commenting on and they are all just up 10,000%. And so I want to go back and find projects which have had a very good run. They're very good projects. They're not in the limelight and they're starting to fall into their accumulation zones. And Ren is potentially one of those. You got to be very cautious. And that's why a lot of people don't like to get into these because it could be $1 and then it could fall to 60 or 80 cents. And they're like, this isn't going anywhere, and they sell out, and then a month later, they're like, holy crap, this thing has shot up 10x, and now from 60 cents, it's at $6. And then they just happen to try and ride that $6 to $12, but it's already done a 10x. So this is why we have to be patient, and then the risk is that it continues to fall down from this point here. So it could continue to fall into that area. So let's just keep an eye on it. Ren is proven to be a very good project in this bull market so far. It's gone from a few cents back last year, 2, 3, 5 cents up to $2. So there is the army behind Ren if we need it to push. So they are the major charts I wanted to look at. TVX, quick cover because it's something that I'm accumulating. I am looking at it in this range. It's quite a big range between 60 cents and 90 cents. The area that I'm concerned with, if it broke down past the 50 cents, not a good sign. We could be down here for some time. If we spike down and spike back up, no worries. But for now, it's still an accumulation for me. TVK BTC, yeah, we're starting to fall a little bit lower than I would like. But overall, I'm very bullish on the NFT stuff. And I believe this is falling because NFTs overall are finding a little bit of troubles trying to push their way up, because the limelight is moving past NFTs at the moment. They're fantastic, but you just have to be aware that trends change. And let's have a look at Engine as a potential trend changer as well. You can see the volume just dropping off here, but that also happens when prices wedge. So let's just keep an eye on this. It could push down to that $1.80 level, and that's 50%. So I'm cool with that. This is the range, the all-time high, a major low, halfway between that point. It's around $1.80. If it breaks lower, no problems. $1.50 still looking good, and then we have another swing low at around $1.04. Basically, call it $1. So $1, $1.50, $1.80 are all support levels that I would love to see this thing hold, build itself up again to take off when the NFT, when the energy swings back to the NFT space. So keep this one on the list as well, because everyone wanted to get in Engine when it was at $2 and $3. So keep it there, watch it, put it in your watch list like we got on the side, put the alerts on it as it starts to fall. That could be some areas for your plan, okay? So you got to make those decisions yourself. I can't give you the advice of where to buy, but these are levels that I like to look of because of GAN teachings, GAN theory, using these retracement levels. Now I've got the alerts higher up as well, just in case it starts to break up when, if the market takes off with an alt season. So TVK, Engine, I'll make mention as well at the end here, SMSS. If you guys have your retirement funds that you want to use to purchase cryptocurrency with, I have a link in the description for New Brighton Capital. Get you $300 off their fees. Using that link, you can book a 20-minute free call with them, and you can work out how to set yourselves up from that. They're professional tax accountants in this space of self-managed super funds and cryptocurrency. So check those guys out. I'll probably wrap that up from here. A couple of minor things before we go. Fear and greed, because we love to check this out. Sitting in this 70%. So this 71 range. I don't know if it's a percentage, but it's sitting at 71. And I dare say that is because Bitcoin has still not broken to new all-time highs. That's just what happens here. You can see it nice, it's trending sideways. Maybe we'll get one of those 2017 dumps. I am hopeful we will. Our portfolios will get crushed 20, 30% probably, but let's have some, I'm going to have some stable coins and fiat on the side to potentially pick up that low. Okay, you guys do what you want to do, but that's why I was selling out some of my profits on the way up in case one of these dumps happen. You just don't know, and it's good to have some ammo. It feels good to be able to buy those dips. Badger news, big one. First single asset, wrapped BTC vault powered by iEarn Finance was one of the highest organic APYs in the market. So as a bit of news updates for Badger, follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date there as well with a lot of crypto news. Looking to do some collaborations with other crypto YouTubers, trying to get Crypto's R Us on the channel. He loves to talk. I love to talk. So if you see some of my posts, go and tag Crypto R Us in it and just see if we can get a bit of a live stream happening together just to chat crypto. The rest of this with Badger, it was something that we looked at, and Badger, that's why I was bringing it up, did have its first sign of life again. Remember, you guys were getting a little bit worried, what's going on? It's been a week, it's not moving. And then all of a sudden from $34, $35, it pumps to $48. Not massive in gains. No one's buying the lows, selling the tops, 40%, but at least we've got some sign of it breaking through some resistance and then coming back and sitting on some old resistance levels, potentially becoming support. So that's the first signs that I like of Badger, to see it basically begin some sort of accumulation area. So we'll keep an eye on Badger as well. It's one of our DeFi plays. It's trying to bring Bitcoin to the DeFi space. I've talked for long enough, probably 25 or so minutes straight. Thank you very much for joining me. Remember to hit the like button if you found some value from the content. Let me know in the comments down below which of these you like the best, or if you're involved in any of them yourself. As you know, these are cryptos that I like. Some of them are in the portfolio, some of them aren't. To let you know, I'm not buying everything I talk about, but I love trading and I love watching the charts because that teaches me for the cryptos that I'm in. You learn when you are applying the techniques of the charts into your own cryptos. Let you know when these giveaways are ready to go in 2 days, so be sure to leave your email address. 100,000 subscriber giveaway down below. One of three free 12-month memberships to the course, so be sure to enter that down below. It's free. All you got to do is leave your email address. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys, and I'll catch you guys at the next video. We talked a little bit about NFTs dropping. We'll get into it a little more in future videos. I had a couple of articles here, but I think we've gone long enough, so I'll wrap it up there. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you at the next one. Until then, have more fun to get more done.